So it's my pleasure to call upon our guru, our mentor. To many of us, he's our friend, philosopher, and guide. But above all, he represents what is ethical in our profession. That reminds us to be who we are every day. And I'd like to introduce Mahendra Raj sir to you, our founder. He graduated in civil engineering in 1946 from Lahore, and in the same year joined the PWD as an assistant engineer. He was right from its inception and worked on the structural design of the Secretariat and High Court buildings designed by Le Corbusier. In 1955, he went to the US for further studies and obtained his master's from Minnesota in 1956 and his CE, Chartered Engineer from Columbia, in 1959. On his return to India, he resigned from the PWD and started his own practice in 1960. During his 50 years of practice, he's been responsible for the design of some of the landmark buildings of India, some of which are Hall of Nations, STC, NDMC, LIC buildings in Delhi, various stadia, Tagore Memorial Hall, Premabai Hall in Ahmedabad, Legislative Assembly in Bhopal, the Convention Center and Legislative Assembly in Srinagar, and so many other landmark structures. Mr. Mahendra Raj has made considerable contribution to the profession of consultancy in India as past president of your association and also of the Indian Concrete Institute. He is the past vice chairman of the CDC, that's the Consultancy Development Center, current vice chairman of Engineering Council of India, and past president of your own institution. Mr. Mahendra Raj was very active in the affairs of FIDIC from 81 till quite recently. He was member of North-South Committee on Needs and Resources in 81-82, and later of the Client Consultant Relationship Committee, and was member for Task Force to draft standard agreement for country representatives of a multinational consultancy organization in a developing country. During this period, he organized 2 meetings of the FIDIC Executive Committee and 2 meetings of the ASPAC in Delhi. One can't talk about the awards he's won, everything, all lifetime, or whatever awards you can think of, he probably already got them. So to read that out would be another half an hour's speech. So cutting that short, I want to get to a personal note. He knew my father very well, and that relationship brings us to today's talk. He gave the second T.N. Subbarao Memorial Lecture in Chennai, which was wonderful. And Joe Scurian struck upon this idea that why don't we reach a larger audience in Delhi, Chennai so far. So we took this opportunity. I mean, Marotha Sahib said, why can we have it here? Do you have any objections? Knowledge is free. So, when you hear great people and you get inspired, I think his friend would have been very proud. And he would have been very, very happy to know that this is happening. The relationship between them goes back, I don't know, before I was born, sir. Grandfather's time, probably. So, it's a pleasure to introduce Mahendra Raj sir, not only being humbled, but now you get some inspiration. May I call upon you, sir?
Instead of showing, my own words and some other words of the people, who have contributed to the structural aesthetics in architecture, let us see what our own members, have contributed. So I asked all the members, whosoever wanted to send some of his projects, to send me the projects, and I had some success, not as much as I wanted, but some success was there. So let me start with my presentation, gentlemen. The topic structural aesthetics in architecture does not need any elaboration for this gathering of structural engineers. That is what we all try to achieve in each of the projects we are associated with. At times we succeed, and at times we do not. But we all know that the project which attracts attention and acclaim by engineers and architects invariably has a structure which makes considerable contribution to the aesthetics of the whole composition. Friends, it is my task this evening to show you some of such projects. So you all recognize these buildings you've seen all the time, and what gives them their aesthetics? It's the structure which gives them their aesthetics. Qutub Minar is the structure which makes it so beautiful. Eiffel Tower is the structure which makes it outstanding, and it's a symbol of France, if not Paris. And it's known all over who designed it, who built it, engineers. These are the two gentlemen standing at the top, way back when no computers were there, no analysis was there, nobody knew so much about the properties, but these are, and look at these. This is another engineer who did it in Ukraine in 1911. You see, these are very old buildings designed by engineers, and this is the Royal Botanic Farmhouse Gardens in Kiev. It is 1844-1848, 110-meter long, miracle of iron and glass, it says. All done by engineers, and beautiful structures inside. Another beautiful structure. This is a Crystal Palace, 1854. So, this is 1908, railway station. This is another building, hall of machines, exposition hall. Look at the detail, and it was built in 1887-89. Now these are beautiful structures which were built by engineers way back. Well, so I just wanted to set the mood. Now we will come to what my colleagues have sent me. So I will like to start with the only lady member in this audience and amongst our association. Her project. Two. Okay. Well, look at this structure. This is the eye looking at all of you and trying to see what is inside your mind. This is a gateway structure, all in stainless steel. Isn't it beautiful? I think.
And the beauty is that it's all made of straight pipes. The curve that you see is actually an illusion. The pipes are all straight.
Yeah. So these are some other views. She has stated something, but this is a beautiful structure. I thought it would be a nice befitting beginning. And then we come to our president. Now, I think he has made a presentation already. All of them, you must have seen it. It is in Calcutta, terminal building. It has such a daring structure. It has 81 to 90 meter span trusses and 27 to 18 meter cantilevers on either side. And the total building is 144 meter by 550 meters. It's huge building, and he has done it very successfully. It's a very bold structure. This is the interior of it. This is, you can see a cross section. It has two basements, but the truss you can see with huge cantilevers. And this is some of the construction slides. These are some of the construction itself was a task by itself, but which was carried out very successfully. And this is another building here which you have all seen, but perhaps I didn't know that the lower, where you see a big band that is transfer girders, and it carries all the upper floors. And these four courts, they hollow courts, they carry the entire building. It's quite a very interesting structure. And this is another beautiful building which he has done in Amritsar. It has 3 basements and 8 floors. And you see a whole lot of bridges which are connecting 3-4 floors, 30 meters span bridges. And there is a banquet hall inside which has transfer girders to carry the upper 6 floors. And all the PT slabs and whatnot. It is, and this is the first tall building in Calcutta. You know, it's 30, how many? 40 stories. 40 stories residential building. So far it is the tallest. It's a beautiful structure which I think for many years perhaps this will stay the tallest before, because Calcutta, I mean, it's quite surprising that they went vertically so much. Now I'll come to, I think I'll quickly show you the various members structures. You see, this is Eden Garden Stadium. That is a cross section. You see, I don't think I have to give all the details. Perhaps real images are enough. Do you all agree?
Yes.
Yes. So it's a large cantilever and 2 or 3 tiers. So this is a completed structure. This is under construction. Trusses under construction. Again, completed structure. And completed structure. This is another very interesting structure which, yes, and it is a salt mount structure. Mahatma Gandhi's, in the South Satyagraha, to commemorate that, they thought of this conical structure which houses a museum inside. You see, it is, the dimensions are given there, 90 meter span and 42 meter height. It is in concrete, during construction. It's quite interesting.
Where is it located?
It is where it's located, I don't know where it is located, I will tell you. I mean, later on I will tell you.
Okay.
But it is salt mount, they call it. And this is way back in 1989, he had put up a revolving tower on his shaft. So you see, Mr. Ghosh, consulting engineering services. They have done all the stadia which you saw in Commonwealth Games. So now, the first time I think earlier, perhaps they were not allowed to show them. And but Mr. Ghosh was kind enough to send these slides to me. Now this is Shyam Prasad Mukherjee swimming complex. The swimming pool was already there, but they had to cover it, and they covered it in a very ingenious manner. That they had these sheer walls all around, and that they had this ring, and the ring supported 2 meshes, which were sort of creating a tension structure, and the ring was compression member, and it's a beautiful structure. That's another stadium, which is Yadav Wrestling Stadium. This also, you will see, this is the plan, but it is written here around 30 by 40. It has steel roof trusses and etc. It's a beautiful structure. This is another one, weightlifting arena and stadium, New Delhi. This curvilinear, beautiful structure. Now this is the way back they did the folded plate in concrete, but he didn't have images of the folded plate, so he only the and this is interesting. Qasr Alam Palace in Muscat, quite very, very elegant and delegates sort of a thing, soaring columns, and they said that, they were very symbolic. And this is a temple. Then Mahesh, I'm glad you've come finally, Mahesh.
Yes, yeah.
I've been outside keep other people company with
But
me.
you haven't brought Ranjana along. I was expecting her also to come. Tell her, Miss. Well, this is a very interesting project which I think those of you who have gone to Punjab might have seen it. This is Khalsa Heritage Complex, which is Anandpur Sahib, Punjab. Now, the next slide, this gives the description. That side is the plan. There are two units and there is a bridge connecting them. And it's interesting to read this because I'll read it very quickly. A landmark project to depict the 800 years history of Sikhs and the establishment of the Khalsa, located on a 60-acre barren site, has two complexes of innovatively designed buildings separated by a multi-span arch bridge. You could see all that. The big structural challenge was to concretize the fantasy-like imagination of arresting shapes like crown, a flower, a boat, here, testimony to the creativity and aesthetics of these creators. And it has won so many awards. So it's a beautiful, all these awards, Indian Building Congress, Indian Concrete Institute, and Association of Consulting Civil Engineers. Here are some views. I'll go back. This is one view. Then this you have seen, this you have seen. Now, I don't know how many of you knew, I never knew that this Radisson hotel which we pass every day while going to Gurgaon was done by Mahesh, his office. And it has 30 transfer girders. It's all structure inside, which is not visible, which has made this building possible, because when we pass it, we don't notice it, but inside there are 30 transfer girders. Amazing. And he has done these buildings in Bangkok, multi-story buildings, beautiful buildings with these slabs and large diameter piles, 6 very long piles, 60-meter long piles. That's very challenging structures. These are all, on account of, because what one says is that it is the structural contribution which makes these buildings possible. And you can see them here, how the structure plays such an important part. Now this is from Shirish Patel, that's Dr. Nori has sent this. This also, anybody who goes to Bombay doesn't miss this building. This is Kanchanjunga Apartments, 1974. See, I was told that from India there was an international exhibition, drawing exhibition of concrete structures, and they selected 2 buildings from India. This is one building which they selected, and the other was the full Hall of Nations, which I will show you later. But this is a building in 74 with sheer walls, and it's beautiful. You don't have to read it. It's all, central core. You can see that photographs of the core was slip formed, and the building came up later. These are other views. Beautiful building. This is another award-winning building that Shirish's office, Dr. Nori did. This entire is about on a core. The core is a lift core, which has the bottom one is post-tension slab, and the top wall supported on this. So it's beautiful. This is another very large span, the factory with 20 meter by 20 meter grid, and Shirish's office has done a lot of construction in precast concrete. So this is all in precast. And he has these purlins which are 550 mm thick, which span 20 meter. And these are hyper shells. Here also, these are the trusses, 30 meter span trusses, and then those purlins and very heavy gantry and all that. Then we have Maple. Maple is there? Or they
No.
is there?
I was expecting this building would come.
Huh?
I was expecting you would show this building.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is-
Whosoever has sent, his buildings are being shown. Who has not sent, has not sent. So Maple, now this is, everybody has seen this in IIT, this Dogra Hall, which is it is 80 feet, 120 feet by 80 feet. It was built when, way back, 1961. It was designed as these stiffened hyperbolic parabola. And the beauty of it is all the timber which was used, to erect it was later used to make furniture, etc. So, and this is, I think these are 3 towers under construction. I don't know if they have come, they are 50-story towers, and he has used concrete up to M70 and with sheer walls and whatnot. But maybe up to 30-story they have done.
Yeah.
People?
Yeah,
Yes.
33.
Yeah. So this will be landmark buildings in Gurgaon when they are completed. Beautiful buildings. This is another very interesting space frame which he has done with concrete sort of supported concrete
Peripheral wall.
peripheral walls, and then inside is double curvature, all in steel. Double layer. Auditorium. And in San Francisco, he had designed this building, and 26-story steel frame. It's a moment-resistant frame, and inside to control the drift, he had used this concept of using some very real frame trusses. So it's a beautiful building which he did in San Francisco way back. Then away, Yate is here, no?
Yes, sir.
Here. See your own project here. So this is he has remarkable buildings in Doha and everywhere else. This is in Taj in Bangalore, where I think you can read. It's a very bold structure, large spans and very heavy loads, which is carrying and landscape area, beautiful building. And these are hotels which he has done in Doha, the hotel Shangri-La, Rotana, and Merware. Then I think these are all very tall structures, and they make their presence felt wherever they are. You can see them. This is another, again, Doha, 2 more hotels. These are Hotel Marriott and Renaissance and etc. etc. He has given all the very tall and beautiful structures and various techniques. The technique used to equalize the columns, shortening, etc. etc. is given there. Anybody who is interested in more details can get them. Now this is Formula 1 building which he has done. It is large cantilevers, large spans, and pre-stressed concrete slabs, etc. Yeah. So you see that on the left hand side, the cantilever structure. Manoj is here. So Manoj is inside. You see this beautiful building, very elegant lines and spaces, and inside there is a big hall which is all hidden because the architect hid it. 35 meter by 60 meter inside, and beautiful peaceful buildings. Very, very sort of delicate looking building. And this is another one. Now it is this building also is very, it has a strange qualities that is used brick and concrete and in a beautiful manner. It's food court complex, Purna. You see the use of brick and concrete columns and not brick, stone, I mean, sorry, stone. Yeah. It's very, it's used stone and other structure in a very delicate manner. And this is very interesting that he's picked up the old medium. You must have seen this everywhere, the arch, but it's used then in a new building complex and it looks very elegant. The arches down below and columns above. Very, very nice buildings. Then I don't think he's here. No, it is from outside. You see, he has done this gateway complex in Mundra. You know, this has cantilever structures, double cantilever and single cantilever, the gateway. He sent me a sheet of all the drawings, all the short drawings, etc. So I had a hard time selecting some to give an idea of what he's trying to say. You see, this is the gateway, and these are the cantilevers, the slanting columns. Because that area has cyclones and strong winds, and it was a big challenge for him to create these cantilevers and stabilize them. These are during construction, single and double cantilevers, large cantilevers, double cantilevers with inclined columns. Then there is another project which he has sent. This is a observation tower for a park, a park of solar cell park. Interesting. Then Vijay, I don't think he's here, but he's done this brother Raj, this TV center, which is large cantilevers, sheer walls as we go up, they're projecting up. It's a very interesting complex, all building, and then this is also, you've seen it on the next IAS building. You know, it's the International Science Academy. This is also very interesting structure, and sheer walls and a separate